Hello again. How are you guys doing? I kind of need to drink some water right now, but there is nothing in here. Yeah, we'll have to go through this thirsty. A little bit of dehydration, if you may. Hey guys, you saw the title of the video. Today I want to talk about the fact that journaling is pretty damn important, at least to me. Back in 2019, I started journaling every few months, but it started the infamous domino effect, and now I'm journaling pretty frequent, every few weeks, I would say. But with journaling, whenever you start and how many times you journal per X amount of time, it's not really important as long as you do it, because there are many factors. But let's start with the documentation part, right? When you journal, you document stuff pretty purely, pretty authentically, pretty realistically, right? From that perspective, at that period of time, you write stuff down, and then you can look back to it, at it, years down the line, and you can kind of observe what kind of person you were back then, and how you thought, how you felt, what you were going through, what you were doing in your life, and so on. It's pretty damn helpful. Like, when I look back at my journals from the corona period, I cringe. I despise it. I'm like, there is no way that this soy boy was me, but it was me. So even though when I look back at the corona times, the pandemic times, it feels like it was yesterday. It feels very recent, but it's been 6 years at this point. Like, it's crazy long. It's been so damn long. And we all have changed as people from back then, even though some people online especially don't want to admit it. They say, oh, I haven't changed. Fuck you, man. So the first thing, of course, is the documentation part. You can forever, hopefully, if you don't fucking burn the house down with all your journals, you idiot, but you can hypothetically have all your thoughts throughout all these years on paper, and you can come back and read it and kind of observe what you were going through, right? So that's pretty cool, man. That's very cool. Believe me, that is so cool to see that you wrote something and you might be still proud of it. That's a very cool feeling. And or maybe you wrote something that was very stupid, and now you read it years after and you're like, that's so bad, that's so stupid. But that's also good, because you've changed, you've become better, you've become wiser. Very cool. But yeah, another thing that is very cool about journaling is that you kind of connect with yourself. And in times that everybody, or at least a lot of people, are very disconnected with their own spiritual, emotional being, that is very good to do. It's very nice to be able to connect with yourself directly and without much bullshit in between. Facing the paper, you kind of can't lie. You have the pen in your hand, in your right hand, maybe in your left if you're a weirdo, and you face the paper, and there is pretty much no reason to bullshit on the paper. Like, what is the reason to write some bullshit on the paper, some lies, some things that you don't really feel or think? You're gonna write pure thoughts, pure emotions, stuff that is really going on, which is how you connect with yourself, how you understand yourself better. I know this is very corny thing to say, to connect with yourself, it's very weird. It's very like, I sound like a 45 divorced woman that holds a yoga class right now, but that is the reality. You will connect with yourself through journaling, and especially as a man, it's been pretty cringe now to journal. I don't know why. It's coming back. I think people are starting to appreciate it more, but still, I feel like the majority of people see it as cringe and as feminine and whatever if you journal. But guys, don't forget that the biggest, smartest people in our history have journaled, have had journals throughout the majority of their lives. So it is pretty damn important. But where were I? Yeah, it's gonna be easier for you to connect and to identify certain patterns, certain emotions, certain feelings that you're having. And some of them will be bad, some of them will be good, whatever it might be. It helps. It's also pretty damn therapeutic. Therapeutic. If you feel pretty fucked up, because some days, we all kind of feel fucked up and we all feel like things are just not great, which is a fine feeling. I mean, everybody goes through that and it's pretty normal, right? But if you are feeling a certain way a certain day, you can just sit down and journal. Just write some stuff down. Why you feel a certain way and so on and so on. It's gonna help you a lot. It's gonna help you a lot, believe me, man. It's gonna help you so much. At the end, after like a 50, 60, 70 minutes journaling session, you will feel like you just talked to a therapist. It's a very cool feeling. It's like you were out with your body. You had 3 beers, maybe 4. You talked, you just sat on the bar. The bartender was a girl. She had very big milkers. And you drank beer, you talked with your body, and you were looking right there into those that I just said. You look there, and after all those conversation, after the beers, you were a little buzzed from the alcohol, you hugged your body, you went back home, and now you're sitting on your sofa and you have this peaceful feeling inside of you. You just feel everything, and everything is just very positive. I don't know how to explain it. You probably know what I mean. It's not that complicated, So journaling really helps you get to that point, because journaling and kind of tuning in with your inner self and writing everything down as purely as possible and as real as possible put you in this situation where you pretty much throw it all out there on a paper, and you feel this peace. You get into this nice state where you appreciate life again. Sometimes we don't really appreciate everything, but after you journal, you really do. I really need some water, by the way. Another thing about journaling, I don't know if this is just me, but I have this cool fantasy that one day when I'm like 60, I can take that pile of journals and just pass it to my kids if I have them. Hopefully I do. And I can just give them all the journals. Those, at that point, it's probably gonna be thousands of pages worth of thoughts, emotions, wisdom, experiences, identity, and so on, I would be able to just hand it to them and they will be able to read it. And it's gonna be like a very, very long book of somebody, and that somebody happens to be their father. So I think it's pretty cool to pretty much have most of the things your father did, or a good amount of things your father did, like important things your father did in his life, on paper. They'll be able to read it, and it's not great for them to read everything. There's gonna be some bullshit written down there, but you'll have to be a little smart. You have to kind of choose what they can read and what not. I mean, that's something that's a different topic, but it's pretty cool, to be able to hand down everything you've been throughout your whole life, your whole evolution documented. You pass it down to your children, and they can read it, and they can relate. They might not relate. They might call you stupid for some things. They might be like, oh my God, did you really do it? And they might ask you, they might wonder how it was back in the pandemic, man. How was in the pandemic? And you can say like, we had nothing to eat, everything was closed. People were lying dead on the streets, but you're just flexing that you lived through the pandemic, but nothing really happened. You were inside playing video games all day and jerking off, but who cares? You can get some aura in your old days through this. Like the pandemic, like this is totally off topic right now. I don't know why I'm going down this road, but the pandemic in like 40 years is gonna be our world war. It's gonna be our Vietnam. It's gonna be our Middle East war, if you're from the Middle East. This is very dark that I'm talking about right now. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but in like 40 years now, this is comic, right? This is supposed to be funny. I hope you get it. But in 40 years, you'll be able to pretty much say to your kids that it was very bad, that your father went through all this misery and came out alive, and here he is having his family and all his freaking notebooks from 50 years ago or 40 or 30 years ago. That's kind of cool, man. That's very cool. So yeah, passing down your work to the next generation is just a cool thought that I've been having, a cool fantasy that I've been having. You will have to kind of wait for a good amount of time after you have kids, if you have kids, right? Because you don't want to give them your notebooks when they're 14 and they bring them to school and you get yeah, and they can start their own journaling sessions and their own journaling books, and then you have generational journaling books, and you can be the guy that started it all. And then think about 300 years from now, your grandchildren are reading the OG journals from their father, their diaries, their journals, whatever. And you say there, you hooked up with some fine shit and it all went good. No, I have to stop. Yeah, I think I said it all. Just start journaling, guys. It's gonna, now this actually serious, start journaling. I think it's very good for you. I don't know about like all the science bullshit, like about your cognitive functions and is your brain gonna get faster? Is your vocabulary gonna improve? Are your thoughts gonna become clearer? Would you be able to recognize patterns in your life faster because you've already put them down on papers, so you probably have memorized them better? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. This is all some whack shit. You have to look it up. But don't start journaling because it's good for you, like scientifically, science on based on science. Like journal because it's just good for you as a person, for your spirit, for your psyche, and so on. Like don't journal because it's on the self-improvement bucket, please. Because I mean, you can whatever motivates you, whatever drives you to journal, but understand that this is like a lifelong project. This is not about you reading it tomorrow and uh being crazy happy about. This is like a Bitcoin situation, this is Bitcoin 2011 situation, Bitcoin 2010. What were you doing in 2010, guys? Why weren't you buying Bitcoin? You should have bought some Bitcoin, but you didn't. So now BlackRock is buying all the houses, AI is taking all the jobs, and you, brother, because you didn't buy Bitcoin back in the day, you're struggling to survive. You're struggling to pay your rent. No, I'm kidding, guys. This is it. I think I've said it all. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, wherever you might be. I'll catch you in the next one.